Hi, everybody. Um, I want to go ahead and introduce you to what you're going to be working on this week. It is going to be very, very, very important that you take every step um, with full regard, knowing that it's important that the information you are taking in is grounded somewhere into your memory because we're going to do a very similar process just like this next week. Okay, so this week you are actually going to be introduced for seventh period. You're reviewing for sixth period. This is your formal introduction to the elements of art. And next week we will review the principles of design. Okay, so I am going to run through very quickly what we're going to go over. As you can see, I have a PowerPoint here. All right, so again, you are going to be reviewing the elements of art, and you need to know exactly why they're different from the principles of design, which we're going to go over next week, okay? So first, why do you need to do this? Why do we need to cover the elements of art? Well, we need to cover the elements of art because it is so important for you to learn the terms so that when we do our class critiques, whether that be virtually or in person in the classroom, whether we do our artist statements, which you turn in after every project, is very important that you learn these terms so that you can use them in your discussions and use them when you're doing your artist statement, okay? So I have noticed that we have not been using those, and we need to get used to those terms so that you are more comfortable using those terms when we have our discussions and when you do your writing. Okay, so again, why do you need to know this? Why do you need to do this? If you can see, I have pulled up your artist statement flow chart and your art critique paper. And so we use artist statement, that term, a lot. We use art critique a lot, and we've been using them all school year for those who have been with me all school year. And it is very important that when you look at this worksheet, the section that asks, um, what were your goals here, and describe your artwork. It is very important that you are able to dissect your own work and talk about how you use the elements of art in your artwork or around the idea of your artwork. It's also very important because when people begin to engage into a discussion about the artwork that you created and they talk about these elements that are presented in your artwork, you understand exactly what they're pointing out and what they're talking about, and you can go back and forth in a dialogue about that artwork. So it's very important that you know these terms now and become very acquainted. Okay, so your art critique is also very important because the first thing it asks you to do is to describe your work. What elements, it says there, describe those elements there, techniques and processes. And so if you are able to talk about those elements, the artist is able to also tell you how they were able to achieve those effects in their artwork. So it's very important with our writing that we become very acquainted and get very comfortable with these terms now. Okay, so what you're going to be doing this week and the goal of what we're doing this week is exploring and reviewing these basic elements of art. And those elements, there's 7 of them. That is line, shape, form, texture, value, space, and color. And so a lot of times we use these words, but if someone were to ask us, well, how did we use those in our artwork? We draw a blank because we really didn't think about it. But I think that has a lot to do with not being very comfortable with the terms and how that relates to what you're doing with your artwork. So this is why we're doing this week. The materials you are going to need for what you're going to accomplish this week: pen or pencil, doesn't matter, just any pen or pencil from the house. Anything to create color. So as you can see, I have listed color pencil, crayons, and markers, but it does not mean you have to use all 3. You can use one or the other. You can use both if you're trying to go for a mixed media effect. Um, if you have access to paint markers, whatever can create color, pastels, chalk pastels, oil pastels, whatever you can get your hands on. So that section where it says colored pencils, crayons, markers, it just means anything that you can get your hands on that will create some color. That's what you need for this assignment. Any white paper will work, preferably blank white paper or drawing paper, but I know that some of you guys probably left your items in your lockers. Totally fine. Get your hands on some paper, any paper, construction paper, as long as I'm able to see the effects you're trying to achieve as it pertains to elements of art, okay? You need an electronic device to view your video links. Again, your computer, your tablet, your phone, whatever you can use to watch your videos. Also, I get a lot of requests to resend the video links. And so I have included the video link in the lesson plan. But the video link is actually a playlist. So that way I'm not sending out several links this week. You're actually going to have a YouTube playlist of the elements of art. When you click the playlist, which is listed right here, it's going to show you all 7 links that you need to watch. So they're all in one place, okay? And then, of course, you need internet access. All right, so when you do click on that video link, you will find all 7 links like I mentioned before. You will start with the elements of art, starting with line. You will then go to shape, form, texture, value, color, and space. And here is what you're going to do with all of those links. In the lesson plan, I have listed 8 steps, but the first 7 are very important because it tells you exactly what you need to do with every video, and that is my expectation, okay? So you are going to watch the video starting, let's go back, let's say the elements of art line. If you go to watch that video first, which you should, you need to watch the video, then you need to take 3 important notes or facts that you learned during the video. First of all, the videos are very short. Most of them are like 3 to 5 minutes long. They're gonna go through that information very quickly. You need to take down 3 important facts. And here is where things get a little tricky if you're not reading the instructions all the way the first time. Write those facts down, and in the lesson plan, I'm asking you to write complete sentences. If you are not writing complete sentences, I cannot give you full credit for the ideas you are trying to write down because the ideas you're trying to give me are incomplete. So I can't really follow the thought process. So writing complete sentences is very, very important. Everything you learn in your English class also pertains here. You need capitalization. You need punctuation. Sorry, I'm about to create a new word, but you need those things here because that's important in the art world when you're communicating ideas. Okay, so let's not blow past that. Don't just write 3-word sentences. It's good. I think, like, let's not give incomplete ideas. Tell me exactly what you gained from that video with a full and complete thought. When you're done with that video, you are going to draw two examples of that element. Okay, and I'm not even going to tell you what that's going to be like. Any 2 examples of your choice. If you want to recreate something you saw in the video, which may be a little tough, don't make yourself do that, but just find an example. Give me a couple of examples of what a line could look like in your artwork. Is it wavy? Is it coily? It's up to you. So again, you're going to watch each of these videos, but every time you watch a video, I need you to pause. I need you to take down those 3 important notes. Do it while you're watching. It's up to you. And then you need to draw 2 examples of each element. They don't have to be oversized drawings. You actually can take a sheet of paper, divide it up into 7 sections if you want to, and do your 2 drawings. So that's an easy way to do it. They can be little sketches. As long as I know what I'm looking at, make sure you label things before you turn them in. If you are using homework drop,